Hello guys, welcome to the YouTube channel Me Squared once more and Happy New Year. Hope you had a lot of fun during the celebration. I hope you enjoyed a lot. So it's a new year, new goals, new heights, right? So hope you already have your roadmap prepared and ready. So let's get to the business of today. So we're going to be talking about enums, right? And enums allow us to simply create similar objects in one structure. It's the same in TypeScript, Python, Swift, Rust, Dart, and other programming languages, right? So, let's dive then into the first case where we're going to provide our enums, right? So we already have our folder created here. So we're just going to say example one.dart, okay? And what we're going to do basically here is that we're going to create an enum, and that enum is simply going to be um, rabbit, dog, and a cat, right? So I also need a name. So we're going to call it animal type or animals. So with this we're going to go there and ahead and create a map, right? And try to display this to the terminal. So as a little reminder, if we don't add a comma here at the end, right, everything is going to be formatted in a horizontal line, if I can put it like that, or format. But if we do this, then it now goes to vertical, right? So that was just that. So before doing that, we're going to create an animal class. So we're going to create a class. So we're going to create a class animal, okay. And with this, then we're going to provide a string name. I'm going to provide a name and also use the animal, the enum itself as a data type, right? And just provide a constructor for that and say final and final and required this dot type. Okay, so we're just going to do that, and we can now come here and say final animal, right, is equals to animal. Let's say here it's a cat, and here we just say the animal dot cats, right? So to be able to print this now, we will now need to, like, because this is just an animal, right? So we don't know if it's a cat, if it's a dog, so we could do something like animal dot type, right? If it's equals to animal, not obviously rabbit dot cat, right? We're going to print certain this is a cat, right? And then we're going to say else. Nope, if I can type today, else print this is not a cat, right? And we can actually get this printed in our terminal by saying dart example 1, okay, and we'll say certain this is a cat, but if we have to change this into a rabbit, okay, rabbit, then it's going to fall into the other case, right? Now with this, it's kind of like nice to use if statement, because we can as well also use switch, right? We can use switch and do this, but we'll have to switch on the animal type, right? And then provide the different clauses for rabbit as well as for that and this, okay. So that would then now mean now we'll now have to say print this is a rabbit, and then we'll have to break, right? So we shouldn't forget that we actually have to break out. So we can also have this here, and format the code. Nope, it didn't actually work, I don't know why. So let me copy that again once more and paste it here. Let's see if we can get the formatting right, and say dog and say cat. Okay, so with this now it's still the same thing, right? It's still going to work, and we're still going to get that displayed in the terminal. This is a cat. So now the advantages of using switch statement is that say we had another enum here, say for example monkey, right? The switch statement is going to yell at us that we'll have to cover the keys for the monkey. But in the case of the if, we actually don't get that because we have to go again and write if else statements, if plenty of ifs, which at the end can actually make your code look bulky and kind of like cumbersome or strain us to understand, which we know actually isn't. But this is just like in a real world scenario where we were working on a real project, right? So, but with switch cases, it's kind of like you can still go with it with switch cases, right? But with switch cases, it's kind of like way easier because it's already yielding and all that. Okay, and enum has been added, but we haven't covered that case, right? So that's that. Um, so I'm going to remove this, okay, and then we are going to move to example 2 where we're going to talk about enhanced enums, right? So example 2, okay, example 2 to that, and we're going to come here and talk about enums. So basically, what are enhanced enums actually? So enhanced enums are just like enums which carry along values, or let's not say values but hard coded values already. So we will have then an enum car, okay, and we're going to save Toyota, okay, Tesla, let's say Tesla model, and finish this with this and say Toyota model. And then we got think we should still first of all leave that, say final, and then we could, I think I'm just going to turn this into a class first so you understand one. So we can say manufacturer, and it's actually a string, right? We'll have model, and we'll have final int year. Okay, we can turn this into a class, bring up the constructor, then bring back this, then turn it back into an enum. Okay, so it's supposed to be a const, and then we can now provide here the manufacturer, say Toyota, and the model is let's say it's a RAVCAT something, I don't know, RAVCAT, or a Toyota, a Highland, let's say something like what's a Highlander, something like that. And then we have the year, let's say what's a 2021, okay, and it's basically the same thing. Manufacturer here is going to be Tesla, and the year we're going to put something like 2022. So for the model it's going to be model, let's say Y, something like that, model Y, right? So and we'll have to also provide it, we'll have to overwrite the toString method, okay, so that we can get this printed in the terminal actually see. So we're going to say car manufacturer okay, get the same with the rest and close. Okay, so basically this is what we mean by enhanced enums, right? So where basically they have properties or values, right? It has a constructor, and we cannot carries hard-coded values along. That's what I meant by hard-coded values. So we cannot go ahead now and create a person class, right, where this person now is going to have still a name, okay, so it's going to have a string, a name, and also a car, Okay, so let's generate the constructor for that. And that's it. Okay, so now we can now go ahead, create a main class and say something, for example, like say final person is equals to person class, right? So let's say John Doe. Okay, and this John Doe has as car the Tesla model. Okay, so now we can now say we want to maybe see the name, right? And we also want to print John's car's information, right? So we'll just do this, okay, dot car, and try to run, okay, that example 2, not the art. Example 2, okay, we get John Doe and the car. The car is using it's called a Tesla, it's Model Y, and it was made in the year 2022 when the manufacturer was Tesla. So that's that for enhanced enums. So this is how we make use of enhanced enums, okay? And yeah, so basically that's it. So we're going to move to example 3. Example 3, 3 dot, okay. So now in this example 3 dot, it's basically what I made mention of earlier with the switch statements, right, when providing enums, right? Because if we don't do that, we'll actually have something that is known in Swift as fallback or fall through, okay, and let's just say fox, and let's provide a main, and let's say we have an animal, and then we have this animal back to be a rabbit, and then we have a switch, okay, and we have to switch on this animal. Then we can then come here and add the missing switch cases, okay, add all of them, and we have this then. So now if we did this, this is actually what I meant by fall through, or if we don't add break statements, right, by printing something like this is not a fox, and then here we could have something like print, right, this is a fox, okay, and then we will then have to break here and as well here, right? So let's just change this to a fox, and if we try running example 3, okay, then we get this as a fox, right? So if we put things like this and we don't provide a break, right, it's going to go on to the next, right? So it's going to do something like this, right? Even though without a break it still does that, but it's good practice, right? It's good practice to always provide the the break. So let's try to change this and say for example something like rabbit, and then let's run that, and we get this is not a fox and it ends there, right? So but it's also good practice to provide the break statement or keyword, okay. So without further ado, we're going to dive now into example 4, where we're going to be talking about how to actually get not actually get, but get an instance of an enum from a string. Yeah, so we're going to take a string and create an animal type from it in example 4. So let's create example 4. Let's create example 4 do that, okay. Now this example 4 do that, we're going to have again an enum, okay, and which is going to be animal type, and also make sure that when writing enums we follow the Pascal case where the first is in capital followed by the second word, right? It's not this, it's this. So we're still going to have rabbits, fox, dog. Okay, just those three. And then we're going to create a function, say an animal, which returns an animal type nullable, and say something like animal type, right? So what this function does is just takes in a string, right? So can require a string, and can say from str from string. Okay, so now this enum, or let me first of all, let me just write the main function down here so you see what I'm trying to talk about. So this animal type here has something what we call values, which is a list of all the animal types, right? So if we say value, if we try printing all of these, okay, so if we try printing all of these, if we clear this, I will say example 4, and then we get all this list. So what we're going to do here is that we are going to say animal type, right? Animal type values dot first where, because we're going to search for the elements, let's just call it, or the animal, right? Dot name, okay, and if it corresponds to this from string. Now the issue with this is that it can return it has a nullable function, but if we try doing this, say for example we pass in something like monkey, which doesn't, it's going to crash, right? It's going to crash. So we are going to solve that as we go ahead, right? So I think this should be returned from here. Okay, so it takes in a string and should return an animal type. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to create a void describe, right? That's just going to describe the animal type that we're just going to take. So it's going to be the animal type nullable, and we'll just say animal type. And basically all what we're going to do is we're going to switch on this animal type. So I'm going to provide each of the missing cases so that everything is covered. Okay, and now in this case now we need to have with this one now we need to have a default case, right? So because actually yes, is a case of null, but we're actually going to use that as a default, right? So we're going to say default. Now this is like the case where we're saying like you can make use of the default, right? Because here we actually have null, should in case what we're searching for is not found in here, so it's going to return null. So we can say something like unknown animal, right? And for the others, I think we can just go ahead and say print can we do this dot no so what we just do is just say this is rabbit, okay, and we can do this, we can say fox and dog, okay, so we can say fox and dog and that. And like I said, it's always a good practice to always add your break keyword, okay. It doesn't cost you anything, but it's always good to always put that there. And then now we can now go back to our main function, okay. Now I'm coming on here in our main function, we cannot create describe, in which we're not going to call it this, in which we're going to pass in the result of this animal type here in lowercase, right? So animal type, in which we're going to provide that from. We're going to say rabbits. Okay, so let's try to create a couple of these and say dog and say monkey and let's say fox, and let's see what we get. Example 4. Okay, so the first word was actually due to the rabbit. So what we could do here is that in the case the animal, well, we could just run this in a try catch and just get that error there, but I'll leave it as a challenge to you to be able to display null. Okay, that should, in case we get null, it should give us this unknown animal type, right? So I'll just leave that as a good assignment to you for you to do and exercise over. Okay, so that's that for the example 4. Okay, so now we're going to move on to now example 5. Example 5 dot dart. Okay, so now example 5 of that, we're going to talk about mixing. So we can mix we can do mixings with enums, right? Because enums in other languages it's called protocols and interfaces, but in that it's called mixins, right? So we're going to provide a mixin saying can jump. Okay, and no, we're going to say int get fit count. Okay, fit count, we're going to provide void, and then we're going to say jump, and we're just going to say print. Nope, not directly. We're going to check if fit count is less than 1. I wanted to say 0. So true, we're going to throw an exception. I say that cannot jump, or else we're going to print jumping. So and now we can get our enum of animal type. Okay, we can have a monkey, a fox, a deer, something like that, and we'll have to turn this now into an enhanced enum, whereby we would now have to put it now to be able to mix it with a mixer. We now need to say something like with, right? With can jump, right? So and then it's going to tell us to think of providing the missing concrete implementation of jump.countFit. So what we're going to say is that we're going to say int, right? Is int get count fit, right? Not int. We're going to say final int fit count, right? And then we call upon now the jump. No, we will not need to provide that, so we'll just go ahead and just say const animal type, and it's going to require okay, this dot fit count. Okay, and I think we then have to get to overwrite this then. Okay, so with this then we cannot go ahead and say for example, but this, let's just do the last one to be a fish, so we'll now do here feet counts, let's say 4, feet counts 4, and then feet counts 0. Okay, so from there now we can now go now ahead and produce a main class, and from this main class now we can now have something like animal type or animal dot fish dot jump, right? We could also have the, I think there was a monkey, but I'm just going to wrap this in a try catch so that it doesn't kind of like throw an error, right? It's going to throw an error, but we just want to catch it in a simple way. So this is not good code practice. I'm just doing it for the video purpose. So fish cannot jump, right? And then we cannot add the last, I think it was a fox. And if we try to run, we clearly say that example of 5. Okay, we see the fish cannot jump, but every other one can jump. So this is how we can implement mixing with an enum, as well as we can also extend. Okay, we can also extend, so we can say extension extension run on animal type, right? And we'll say void run. Okay, and we'll say print underscore this is running. Oh, extension, we can do that like that, extension that this is running. I don't know if I can actually get on the name. Okay, let's see what it's going to get. Unnecessary braces, never mind about that. So let's not get something like a fox, right? So I can say the animal type dot fox dot, it's running. Okay, and then let's try to link that out. I'll say fox is running. Okay, that's nice. We have now the fox is running, as well as we can also add functions. We can also add functions to the enum, right? So we could say something like function swimming, right? So we could just say something like void swim. Okay, and now we can just print to our terminal, say let's see if we can get that done again. This dot name is swimming. Okay, still unnecessary, so the this keyword. Okay, so we can now call number on the fish, so we can say animal type dot fish dot swim, right? And if we try to run that now, we get the fish is swimming. So basically that's what we can do on an enum. We can mix it with the mixing, we can extend it with extensions, and it also takes in its own functions, right? So we can also do this as well. So that's, we have come to the end of the video. That's just all. Okay, we went through the basics of using enums to enhance enums, so how we could mix them with extensions and all of that. So you can go ahead and try to play with them. And thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And also happy new year. Okay.